Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Immediately resulting from the previous talk about God who knows all and God who has yet to know, comes the question of destiny and fate. That do we have free will and choice, or is it all destined? This problem again can be resolved by looking at the distinction between the body and the spirit and looking at the notion of free will. You see, in terms of our bodies, we can't deny we don't have a choice. Our genetic makeup, the circumstances in which we take birth, our genders at birth. Now, either they're determined by a pre-worldly existence or by God, Him taking His own discretion. But in any case, it is not something I have willfully chosen for myself. But if you look at any aspect of our bodily being, you cannot fail to notice that inevitably it is destined. I have no say in there. Our circumstances are not determined by us. Our parents are not chosen by us. The religion of cradle is not chosen by us. The indoctrination that shapes our attitudes was by others. Our attitudes that we feel are us are also determined from that early life indoctrination. No matter how you analyze it, you will see that things are determined. Now you will say, well, I have choice. I will say, yes, you do have choice. But think clearly into your choices. You will see that all of your choices are directed choices. You had no choice but to make that choice. If I can give a simple example for that, I want to go from point A to point B, and there are several routes. I have a choice in which route I will choose. Now, based on my experiences of traffic, on my circumstances of how long do I have to get to my destination, on my mental condition, how relaxed I'm feeling or how agitated I'm feeling, I will make the only choice that I was supposed to make. That I want to go through the fastest route, or I want to go through the route that has that shop on the way because I have to get a present for the person I'm going to see, or I am feeling hungry, or I have to pick up something. The only choice I will make is the only choice I was supposed to make. From the option of choices I had, they were all directed, and I was going to inevitably make the choice that I have made. They were all directed. But there is a unique thing happening here. In all these directed choices that are all determined, and that's the only one I could have made, there is a very unique thing that is happening. And the unique thing is that in myself, I feel I have the discretion to make a choice. And I take ownership of making that choice. That is the first glimpse of freedom. Even though you will turn around and say upon analysis, it wasn't a free choice, I will say, yes, upon in-depth scrutiny, it wasn't a free choice. It was a directed choice and the only choice I could have made. But at the moment of me making that choice, I take ownership and I feel free in making this choice, as opposed to feeling coerced. I know I want to take route A, and the passenger with me has forced me to take route B. In that one, I know I made a choice that was forced. In the first scenario, I feel a distinct difference between the two. In the first scenario, I made a choice that I felt was a free choice in myself at that moment. And this is the first glimpse of that subtle area of freedom where destiny is in the making. So here we can see two things. That as far as the body is concerned and the bodily is concerned, things are very, very much fixed. It does not mean that God cannot intervene, and He can intervene. Yes, He does intervene, because God, as we explained yesterday, is in the absolute now with us. He can change destinies for us, even though it is already known that He's going to change it at the other level of Godhead. So we make sincere prayers and we change it. So the bodily, to the largest extent ever, is determined. What is not determined is the destiny at the level of the spirit, because the spirit is not something that is made. It is not something that can be governed. It is something that is divine. And at that point, there is no control of anyone. It has full discretion. But how is spirit free? Through the process of choice making. Not in the process of choice making, but in the notion of, I am responsible for making this choice. So what we are seeing here is that it is not what is happening in the bodily realm, but it is the way we are interacting with it. That is the destiny maker, where destiny is not made. So for example, I was destined to suffer a monetary loss in my bodily capacity. As the Quran says, there is no affliction that befalls you, but that it's already been prescribed, so that you may not become overly joyed at what comes to you, not grieved at what leaves you. Now when I make a choice and I take ownership of that choice of investing money, and that was a bad investment, now I have lost all my capital. Here is the real place where destiny is made. If I can say, look, I chose it. I am responsible for it. I take ownership of it. The first thing is, I have come of age in terms of bearing responsibilities for what I have done. 2, if I can say that yes, it was destined to happen, and from within I am supposed to relieve myself of insecurity that comes with loss of money, and to remind myself I am not the body or bodily. The one who governs me does not lose anything. He will sustain me if He has destined life for me. Then in that case, through that choice, which was in hindsight a bad choice, by taking ownership of that choice and now interacting with it through the spirited aspect of myself, I have made destiny in the sense of caused my felicity and emergence as a spirit. But if at that point I interact with it adversely and collapse with it, feel that my life has come to an end, I've lost everything, then there I am creating an unbefitting destiny in myself. That is the true area of making destiny, that is free, that is untouched and cannot be touched. So destiny is made in terms of the bodily aspect. The inner destiny is in the making. And that is why I will hold myself responsible in front of God. And that is why the people will say on the day of Qiyamah, we now see, we now hear, we now understand. Send us back and we will behave righteously. Because they will understand that no, the whole process was for us within a closed circuit system that is destined to awaken and to make ourselves from within. So I can give this example now. that, as Ibn Arabi used to say, that we are actors on the stage of the world acting our roles. The real task is for these actors to awaken through the process of acting and role playing. That the bodies will act out their roles, but the inner being has to awaken and become conscious of itself and grow through the role play and through the acting, and having this sense of, I have made this free choice, even though upon deep analysis it's not a free choice, but having that sense of ownership of it is the door to real freedom from within, where we can carve out our destiny. So here is what I would like to think. I'd like us to think that all the calamities that befall us, all the things that go wrong with us, all the things that we gain, and all the things that are happening with us, if we can interact with those events uniquely and grow through them, then truly we are availing ourselves of the opportunity. We become the destiny makers. We become the destiny, and the spirit emerges, evolves to itself. If we become mindless of it, then destiny is made and we have lost the opportunity. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.